Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We are now on episode 237. We are on day 6 for the week of the daily color in the small victories. I have worked all week on a single page. I did a whole bunch of homework last night. I made sure to color all of the areas and even up the flowers as much as I could. And today is all about shadows. So I hope that I can keep my book in this shape, horizontal, so you can see the changes as they occur. I have each of the images clusters by quadrant are a little bit different. I can see right off the bat that I did some shadowing, pre-shadowing on the Polychromos, a little bit of pre-shadowing on the Kalour. The greens I see a little different, the Polychromos being the lightest. Luminance is here and there the darkest, but I'm going to just ignore all of that. My main focus is shadows. I've decided the shadows are going to be on the perimeter flowers only, just to keep it simple. And then the middle area, I will only go in if I need to do any cleanup. I will save my thoughts on the pencils until tomorrow, and I am going to go in the order that I colored these today, so I get to spend 10 minutes per set of pencils. If I'm going to go around 40 minutes, we will see if I need more. I'm going to start in this quadrant with the Kalour. I will start with the dark purple. I have 2 colors for each set of pencils. I have the darkest purple and or indigo for those that don't have a super dark purple. And then I have a dark green. So hopefully we will be keeping it very simple. I had a grand time coloring last night, doing my homework, and I even grabbed a Signo Uniball for the gold. You can see the centers are gold as well as the thick line, and I will talk more about that tomorrow. Hopefully I will remember. So tomorrow we will just go over my thoughts about the pencils as well as the gold work. I feel so tempted to rotate. I want to make sure that I do not get my knuckle in the way. As a rule for shadows, similar to highlights, I don't tend to just use like gray or black for a shadow. I tend to use a color, and for highlight areas and lightening, doing the final burnishing, I will tend to use the lightest color in a blend over white. And if I have an area that I really need to smooth, I like to use a colorless blender, my favorite being the Caran D'Ache Full Blender Bright. I have a few of my own little rules for where my colors stop. So I'm trying not to do a lot of highlights on this outer edge. It's make sure you can see. So this outer edge has no shadows, and I'm going to try to be consistent. That means over here with this flower and this flower, I can shadow on the leaves, but I'm going to stop and not shadow on the white. So I notice here, this is pretty dark. We'll see if I need to even anything up. That I missed a little bit of blue. I do have all of the pencils sitting right here. This color is dark purple, number 5. I am trying to focus the dark purple on the flower shadows, even the ones that go over the green. And then I will go in with the green to go through the leaves. I am grabbing the light blue for this little tiny bit. Technically, I left these little parts white, so they're going to be blue. I also see a little bit of green that I left. I am a person, when I color in a coloring book on these pages, I try not to leave the page out. Once I declare it's done, I try to move on and do not do any more cleanup, which I am still in the cleanup phase for this page, so you might see me doing some little nitpicky things. I tried to do all those things. Hiccup. I tried to do all of the cleanup last night so I could focus on shadows, but I figure I will always see a little bit more that can be done. I have now picked up the dark green, which is the Kalour Olive 22. It's fun for me to really go into the details of a page and leave it sitting out, which is my tendency with my nature and animal portraits. I have an English bridle that you guys have seen as a whip. Now, I've been really busy, so I have not touched it since the week where I spent, I think I have 6 hours into it, which is not long at all. But I don't like to rush, as a rule. The part of doing the coloring in the small victories is to help me expand my horizons and not always color the same way. I like to vary it. This corner of my phone tends to be problematic, so I hope I am in focus. As I have said before, it seems to be an angle. Trying to keep the angle consistent. Have the phone flat to the clipboard. Some days it's magic and it just works, and other days it does not. So I mentioned yesterday that Whimsy Stamps, way back when I first started expanding my card making, really had beautiful Copic colored images that went really, really dark into the shadows, and they just made the images pop a little. You know, it was not a realism shadow. It was definitely an artistic shading that really appealed to me. So I would first when I was doing Copic colored images and bought some Whimsy stamps, I would practice getting the shadows super dark. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed trying a variety of different techniques with the Copic markers, kickstarting my adult coloring journey way back when. I did take a picture of this last night so that I will have a before and after screenshot that I will put into the showcase at the end of the weekly review tomorrow. I don't, when I do a daily color, I'm actually grabbing a lighter green as I see it. This is a little bit rough right here. I don't usually put screenshots in the daily color. I just want to focus on the coloring itself. So it will not be attached today. No before and after today. See, I told you there would be cleanup. I would see cleanup. Putting that green away. Grabbing the purple again, dark purple. I want this purple is a little too dark to me. I don't know if I'm gonna let myself lighten it up though. I might just have to just let it be. I think this dark purple is the color of the center. I can tell I'm in a quieter mode today, concentrating. This shadow right here was a different shadow color than this dark purple. I think I did that the first day. So who knows what color that was? Because I picked one from the whole selection of colors. So this dark purple will be on that list as well. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, and I have not done the... Okay, so I mixed in a little bit of dark purple in the green. I am very into like lots of color, adding more colors. We're going to move to the Prismacolor, which is the coloring I did next. Now that is way too far away from me. So I'm going to do this. My favorite quadrant to work for my camera is actually over here. Okay, so this is Prismacolor. We have two darks. We don't have a dark purple. Well, yes, we do. Black grape. So we will start with the black grape. I already talked a little bit about struggling with smoothing out the Prisma. But in the end, I was able to get them all to smooth out pretty nicely. I haven't even needed the blender for any of the Prisma's coloring area, which is nice. again, that purple, I am not being super strict with where I go with it. Pretty much all of these flowers are a mix of colors. Technically that needs blue, and I get to shadow around it. You know, coloring is just you in your own mind making up your rules. Look, I have to do a little bit more on that blue. We'll see if I remember all these little notes to myself. The Prismas definitely feel a lot like the Kalour because they have burnished themselves. So I feel like I'm coloring on a bit of a slick, glossy surface. I'm stating that because I'm curious if the polys and the luminance will feel equally as burnished and buttery soft to color on. I enjoy when I get to take my time. It is not often that I let myself take this much time in this book. So I guess every once in a while it's nice to change up the rules. All right, now, corners are always hard, in the spine. All right, so Kalour. Let's see if we can see it. Prismacolor. I have not done the green yet, and I went through the whole set of greens without the dark green. Olive green is the dark green. I already showed you the black grape. I know that the green is not very dark. I don't know that Prisma has a dark green, darker than this, but I needed it to be on the olive side of things. One of these sets is a bluer green than I would have liked. I believe it's the Luminance. So I might have picked the middle green to keep it olive toned. Yeah, I'm really glad I did this shadow with the purple first. I would be frustrated if I was trying to have this do all of the green shadows. Okay, so that's this side. I think I'm going to call it done. I had just a tiny bit of cleanup. I'm going to grab, reaching far for the Prismacolor non-photo blue, I believe. Yes, because I had this that needed to be blue. I did not go as dark on the blues, and I see the blues a little bit rough. Look at that, how rough that is. But when you look at it from the elevator view as a whole, you don't see those flaws. All right, I think that's good. Look, I did the darkening. I don't even see, because of the way the prismas are, I see no little white dots that need to be blue in between each of these. And that side, look, that blue is done, so I must have already cleaned that up. Yeah, that's the Kalour side. Okay. I am going to flip to the third color that I did, and that is the Polychromos. Polychromos overall definitely looks lighter than the first two. So let's see what happens when I darken things up. So I have Prismacolor Indigo, or Prismacolor, Polychromos Indigo. Look how short that one is, because that one I do use in my portraits, nature. And I already started to do some shading. Yeah, I still feel that this is burnished. It's going onto like a glossy surface. I can feel it gliding a little bit. So this is very blue versus purple. So we will see if in the end we have a different tone, or if it kind of all blends together. already to me, the poly looks a little more crisp. The points are sharper on the pencil, so it gets into the cracks more precisely, so it probably will look a little different when all is said and done. I'm hoping to be able to get in with the dark green. Do a little shadow here. I see I did not do any shadow on these these remind me of like pale purple pumpkins. So I might have to go back if I remember. I am already feeling the need to grab the blue, light phthalo blue 145. The indigo is 157. I am here because I definitely see these little white areas. And before I go over with my shadow, I want to build up the color and then put the shadow over the top so that the color is complete. It would not look right to me if I had put this indigo shadow over the top of white. It would not have had the same color. And I am seeing the same unfinished look here. So we're adding in a little bit of this blue. Ah, look, I missed there and there. Okay. Now I can go in here Okay, I'm going to switch to the green now. I hope that this side... Okay, green. Green Polychromos. That is what we're working on. Did I say the green color? Chrome oxide green. 278. Look, this one does not have the Scotch tape magic wrap. It is very possible that I am going to want to grab the light green Polychromos, which is earth green yellowish, 168. And I want it to have a more finished look. I'm seeing too much tooth. Pardon me. also finished these little bits. I am using medium to heavy pressure to get this to fill in nice and rich. All right, putting the light green away. Back to the chrome oxide green. Definitely need to put some Scotch tape on that. See, now this will blend in more rather than just creating a harsh line. Much better. This is medium to heavy pressure as well. I still feel, if I'm being really picky, that a couple of these out here are too light. Nice. So now we have Kalour, Prisma, Poly, and then the last one for shadows is the Luminance. So the Luminance is way up here. I might let myself work from this angle. So our two dark colors for the Luminance. 639. Shall I try to read you these names? Dark Indigo. I did pre-read that one. Now, I did not pre-read this funny name. Dark Phthalo Austenite Green. 719. I'm going to start with the purple. I have to. So hopefully you can see. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? No, I did it. I thought I pushed the wrong button. So let's just dig in here. Now this has the least amount of shadowing. So let's just see if I can build up some nice shadows. The Luminance are quite vibrant. They are a hybrid pencil for sure if your main standard is the Polychromos style of light layers and the Prismacolor smooshing heavy layers, which is not how I color with them. I used light layers. It's just my comfort zone. Oh, that is interesting. I just noticed something. Let's see if I didn't do it. Yeah, I didn't do it on any of them. Okay. We might be making a big change. We'll see if we can do it quickly. I'm not going to do it on this quadrant because it's the final. I will start all over with the Kalour, and hopefully we won't have to go too much longer. I know with this curved spine, the focus might be off. Yeah, forgot a gold on that little dot. I forgot the need for the light blue here inside each of these little petals. All right. This is the dark green. I picked the middle green. This is the one that the dark green, this is 719. The dark green is very blue-green. So I decided to stick with the middle tone. Well, I was off the page. Sorry about that. This is the darkest set of greens, so I'm not having to do too much. All right, so I am now rotating back to Kalour, grabbing this dark green, which for the Kalour is olive, and I'm doing another round. I am not done yet. So I hope you will be able to see what I am doing here. It's still slick where the light blue is. I'm even curious, since we're going all out here. This is the bottom, by the way. So I am tempted to only have the circle shadow be underneath on the bottom. So we'll see. See if my big knuckle is causing problems. Because I don't want to alter the page location much, keeping it centered makes it hard. Okay. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Let's just see how it goes. Now, I'm going to rotate so I have easier access to the Prismacolor. Grabbing the green, and let's just see how this works. I need to be really careful with It's still very glossy feeling, so maybe I don't have to worry about it coming across too dark. What do you guys do for shadows? Do you work shadows as like a separate task and it takes as long as it takes? Do you do shadows as you go? This is definitely a special exercise for me. It's not typically how I color or how I shadow. I just thought it would be fun in honor of the Whimsy stamps and Power Poppy Copic coloring technique, that this would just be fun. Something a little different. Okay, so this whole enclosed section needs a little bit of, let me reach really far back to the Prisma. I have 5 Lazy Susans right here. I actually made one dedicated to the shadow colors. Yeah, so remember, get your base down. If you find something you missed, clean it up, then go back to your shadow. So you get the right mix of colors and it's consistent with the rest of the page. Okay, I think, oh, let's get this, I'm gonna have to, that's the Polychromos side. Okay, I'm gonna rotate. So that's the bottom. Now I'm gonna rotate Polychromos. Poly. Green. Here we go, we're diving in. I actually could sharpen this. This is not as sharp as the others. Oh, and I said I wasn't going to do the circle. Oh, hey, look at that. When have you seen that happen? That is the poly tip breaking. That is very unusual. I've had the Luminance tips break. Let's see. What does that look like? Oh, that's nice and razor sharp now. Now, I said I was not going to put the shadow on the top of the ring, and look, I did right there. So I'm going to leave it and hope that it's not too distracting. I will make it match on the other side, and I will leave these 4 bits around the gold ring not shaded. That's a teeny tiny area. Almost done. Almost done. I should have decided and committed to this, but it was not until I saw it. So that is what happens sometimes, is you have to see it first to decide what needs to be done. Okay, that's it. Luminance. Luminance is next. Now that this is sharp, I'm seeing all sorts of little sharp corners to get. And you'll see I am using the green even on the flowers. A little intermixing is fine. It adds to the realism. These leaves are a little bright still. Okay, putting that away. Stopping now. 719, that's my middle green. And I'm going to go ahead and finish. First, I'm going to do this one part of the circle. Oh, you can't even see all of it. I wish I had more green options with the Luminance. I needed to do the olive tones. And of course I only have 100 here. Silly spine. Difficult to work around. I'm having a look. Now that we, oops. The Luminance blue is darker than the poly blue. So look at me darkening that right up. That's on the Luminance side. Okay. I see one area, if we're going to be picky. I'm taking my full blender bright, and the green here, I see tooth through it. So I am going to, this is the Luminance side. I did not have as many choices, so I'm having to manipulate the green a little bit more. I did already use this on a little bit on the Prismacolor leaves. That looks way better. I hope you guys can see that. Okay. So, I am finished. I am not going to fuss anymore. I will be closing it until tomorrow when we do the review. I'm doing some last minute smoothing while I talk. So I hope trying to show you guys more of the image the whole time does not backfire on my plans. I apologize ahead of time if it was not perfect. I enjoyed adding the shadows. It was a lot of fun. It has a little bit more of a cartoonish artsy look than a realism look. I am more of a realism person these days, but it is fun to do an image in an older technique that was pretty much my first wow factor technique back in the day. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And we will meet tomorrow for a short review of this one page that took me all week, and I enjoyed doing it. We'll see you then.